Have you ever thought, I wish I had more opportunity because then I could just do what I wanted to do? Or I wish there was more opportunity around me so that I could achieve what I want to achieve. Well, I wanted to talk to you about what I do because I see so many people that think that the opportunity is going to present itself and that's going to solve all their problems. And without realizing, that's a subtle shifting of the responsibility of action from within oneself to outside of somebody, with outside of yourself. So I wanted to talk about that and what I personally do. But if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it's good to bring it to you. So let's get into the video. For a long time, that was the story that I told myself, right? Like I thought the same way, that like, oh man, if I just had that opportunity, right? I wanted to work in a PE firm or a hedge fund, and I was like, oh, if I just knew somebody in there, then I could probably get into it, right? Or if I just had more money, then I can invest into other things that I wanted to invest in, or whatever it was. And then I started making the shift to recognizing that we create our own opportunity. Let me explain for a second. When, and I'm going to get into the example we have here on the screen. When you go through and you say buy a new car, right? And you buy a Honda Civic, and then when you're driving around the Honda Civic, you notice other Honda Civics because you have one now, and you start to see that. The same thing happens with opportunity, and my life is an example. When I started to shift that, right, looking for opportunity in terms of given to me versus opportunity that like I created, the subtle shift from going through and asking myself a different question and how can I be better today? How can I take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of me today? I want this opportunity to do this, right? Or do that, or meet this person, or make this much money, or create this company, or impact the world this way. And the only way to get there is by recognizing the opportunities you have in front of you today and seeing those opportunities everywhere, right? Once you get that car, you're like, damn, there's fucking Civics everywhere. They're all over the place. Because you started to recognize that there is opportunity in front of you every day. And that opportunity presents itself in many different ways. You don't need somebody to tell you what that opportunity is. All you need to do is recognize that there's something you can do today to put yourself in a better position. That is the opportunity. And when I personally break this down, it's not just today, what are those several things that I can do today? There's another 20 minutes, right? What can I do in the next 20 minutes? What can I do moment to moment to create more of my vision, my dream, into reality? Because the individual moments do matter. Every second does matter. You can't get those back. And the more of those seconds you give away, wasting that time and saying that it's on somebody else's responsibility that they need to bring you that opportunity, it's just a losing strategy. I did that for years. Trust me, I know. Once you start taking that responsibility and you recognize that today I'm going to take action. And that's as small as you knowing that you need to clean out your car, you cleaned out your car. Perfect. Absolutely amazing. That was the opportunity. And all of those small opportunities are going to be what creates the building block, right? It's just like this. You know, if you've accomplished anything in life, that it's always a journey, right? You're going to go through that path. Let's put you right here at the top of this thing. The only way you're going to get up here is by taking care of this first step, and that's, you know, your car or whatever. And this is your shitty attitude, right? And this is the next thing, and 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 the next thing. Whatever you want to achieve is going to determine how many steps there are in that process. And the more of these minute steps that you can take along the way, right? If you got 1,000 steps to go to reaching your goal of making $1 million a year, or having a tremendously loving relationship, or living on a beach in some other country, or whatever your thing is, buying some car, it doesn't matter, a watch, anything, whatever it is that your thing is, by recognizing that all those small things do matter. Plenty of people will tell you they don't matter. Every moment in life matters, because you can't get those moments back. So you have to take action in those fucking moments that everybody else is saying that don't matter. How do you think that somebody else who has the same amount of time accomplishes 1,000 times more, has 1,000 times more impact than you? They're not 1,000 times smarter than you. The average IQ is around 100. Right? And if they're accomplishing 1,000 times more impact than you, or they're making 1,000 times more money than you are, do they have an IQ that's 1,000 times higher than yours? No, it's not possible. I think the highest recorded IQ was something like 240 or 270. At most, that would be 2.5. And that's a tiny, 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 tiny little segment of the population. So it's something else. And that thing else is recognizing every fucking moment matters, and doing what you need to do to step up in those areas that you don't want to step up in, that you haven't been stepping up in, that you see every day and you bypass them, and you're like, I'll do them later. I'll get to that later. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll let somebody else take the trash out. I'm just going to play on my phone for 10 minutes longer. Tomorrow I'll go in and give my wife a kiss. Bye. Tomorrow I'll make that call. You got to do all those things today, because all of those things throughout the last 2 decades of your life, or decade, or 5 years, or 20 years, or 60 years, add up. And that's why you don't have the thing up here that you're telling yourself. It's because all those small things you don't want to do. You don't want to pick up your clothes. You don't want to make that call today. You don't want to let your ego go and do the right thing. Step the fuck up in your life. All of those small things build on that ladder to wherever it is you're trying to go. And once you make that commitment, speaking from personal experience, once you decide to actually make that commitment and move forward and take the steps you need to take, everybody's got their own journey. Your steps are going to be different than mine, right? Based upon your belief of what you want to be happy in life and your success. But once you start taking those steps, amazing things happen. Amazing things happen. Back in February of 2020, and I've always been trying to get better, but there's never been a real amount of focus that I have today on it. But back in February, have you ever gone through a day where you just had all these things that you wanted to do, and then you didn't do any of them? Or maybe you just knocked off 2 things on your list. And I would focus on the things that I didn't do. And I'm 35, I was sick, fucking tired of that. Going through day after day, sometimes weeks. I think there's been at least a couple times in my life where there's been maybe months at a time where I wasn't focused on growing and moving and learning and going after what I wanted. There'd been so many days like that, and I was so sick and tired of living that way, that I committed to never living my life that way again. Never not having a day where I don't actually take the time to move forward, where I don't take the time to grow every day. And that's why I wanted to share that with you, because that was in February, 5 months ago. Well, basically, not even 5 months ago. Today's the 5th of July. Once you make that commitment and recognize that the small stuff does matter when you're in your mind and everybody else says that it doesn't matter, all those tiny little details are the wins. And you shift the focus from all the moments don't matter to all the moments do matter. And all those tiny little, I'll just do the paperwork tomorrow. I'll just make that call tomorrow. I'll just read that article that's going to teach me what I need to know to move forward. Or I'll read that book tomorrow. All those little things are the wins to focus on, not the stuff you didn't get accomplished. And making this shift for me has been monumental. If you guys want to follow along with this journey as I create the life I want to live, make sure you press that subscribe button and that bell notification so YouTube can notify you every time I post a video. Also, if you guys have any questions about what I'm talking about, let me know over on Instagram. There's a link down below in the description. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.